is going on, everybody? We are back once again with another edition of Sunday Night Spotlight brought to you by Wrestling Republic. It is Sunday, June the 21st. Happy Sunday, everybody. We're going to break down all the fun and cool things that happened in wrestling this week, and a lot of good and fun things happened this week. So I'm excited about it, to say the very least. First and foremost, second show of the day, so especially get your twos up for that guy out in the DMV. Shotty, what's good?
What up, man? I am happy to be here. It is the Sunday Spotlight live in full effect. So when you comment, we'll be able to read it. This is not pre-taped, so that's always fun. And yeah, man, we got the big three in the building, man. Let's get it.
Absolutely. We got it's not a Tuesday big three, but it's basically a Tuesday on a Sunday. And not only that, we're live, even more exciting. Gonna send this one out to Louisville, Kentucky, to a good friend of mine. If I remember correctly, we might want to believe in.
Good morning, afternoon, and evening. It's the guy you should believe in. It ain't Tuesday, but we still putting them twos up. It's Sunday Night Spotlight. We're actually at the actual time that it comes on. That's right, folks. They see that little red, my bad, wrong set. That little red box up there. We are live. We
We are
live, baby. We
We
live,
are
baby.
live. Absolutely. I'm with you, Driz. And I'm stoked to be here too. Live. Second ever live show. The first was an accident. This one was on purpose. We planned this. But I will say, let's get into our first spotlight of the week. I'm going to just jump the gun here out of the gates, and I'm going to spotlight a match that went 59 minutes and 58 seconds. I love sports. I want to say that first and foremost. I am a diehard sports fan. And anytime you see a game where you have a buzzer beater, the ball goes in as the red light's going on. Did they get the shot off in time? Did he cross the plane? 0 seconds on the clock, breakaway. I know soccer, it's kind of weird. The referee just decides it's over, but maybe even penalty shots. It's one of my favorite things in sports. The ultimate finish, the ultimate end of the game. And they got us in pro wrestling. They never do it. Will Ospreay versus MJF. We thought they were going Broadway. A big old tie. Makes sense. Set up the next one. Nobody won. Nobody lost. It's perfect. Not so fast, my friends, in the words of Lee Corso from College Game Day. Maxwell Jacob Friedman pulls off the wrestling equivalent of a buzzer beater 2 seconds before the time limit to win that international title. And to me, I got to put the spotlight on it. This guy's gone 60 multiple times. I've been personally highly critical of MJF in the sense of he's a great promo. Maybe he's not the best bell to bell. This guy's gone 60 with Danielson, and he's gone 60 with Ospreay. What now? What can I say now? He proved me wrong, and that's maybe not that hard to do, but it bugs me. I'm just saying it's one of those you can't really make up, and to have a finish that was truly unpredictable in a match of this caliber, that's just hard to quantify. Will Ospreay has put in some of the best work. He's supposed to be the best bell-to-bell guy in the world. Nobody, once we got past that 50-minute mark, thought Max was going to pull this out. If anything, maybe Will cut this thing short of an hour. But that moment was worth it, and that's why I want to put the spotlight on it. I would make it my moment of the week, but that'd be a cop-out to pick too. But I definitely want to spotlight it, guys. I want to get both of your thoughts, though, on the Max and Ospreay match in general this week. You know, I think a lot of people took what I initially said about it, my initial reaction, and thought that I was trying to compare it to all 60-minute matches. And that was not my intent.
You caught some flack this week about that,
I
bro.
did.
No.
My intent was to compare to a 60-minute match that
Yeah,
is beloved by myself.
for sure.
You have Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, who I think is scouting-wise, if we're looking at athletes, comparable to Ospreay when it comes to in-ring work. Then we're looking at a performer in Max, MJF,
Like
who I
Rick.
think scouting wise, comparable to Ric Flair. So I wanted to compare it to that match directly, just that one. And that's where I got to toss it to you guys because obviously, I mean, this is a conversation we can really, really
Yeah.
mess with.
Uh,
Shut
let, let, let Drizzy go first because obviously I talked about it on
yeah, I'm
on
curious on just
Thursday. I want to hear Drizzy's thoughts on the match first.
First off, I had to watch the match secondly after everybody else did, and I was blown away with the fact that they were actually able to pull off a buzzer beater in wrestling. Things and AEW has done it a few times now, and it has been almost spot on every single time. I know they get so much criticism about the things that they do, but this is one of them. They are tapped in and they know what they're doing with it. The way that it happened, even the last little overhead view of Max arm draped over Will, it's cinematically beautiful. I'm hoping, and this is the evolution of wrestling again, taking front stage center. I love it. I'm pretty sure there are people probably trying to pick it apart, like, well, they didn't do this or they didn't do this, and yeah, yeah, yeah. Just shut up and take it for what it is. It's an art, and the fact I still can't get over the fact it was an actual buzzer beater. It couldn't have gotten any better. The only way it could have been better is if the match ended at 59-59. That's the only way. That's the only thing that I would have changed. But that's me combing through it with a comb.
but I love that you mentioned that too because that's what stood out to me is right. Yes, they put in a high quality, entertaining hour, but they're 1 second away from like Derek Fisher numbers,
Hmm.
right? Like we could have ended up at point 0.4 seconds at
Like
the end of the match.
I would take like just if we get inside that and just be like, oh my god, it was 4/10 of a second. Like that's amazing in wrestling. You see that in every other sport, as you pointed out earlier. Every other sport does it. You don't see it in wrestling, and then it's also something that it needs. The ref has to be in. The ref, the both performers, everybody has to be all in on it. You have to applaud that at some point in time because this is not easy.
That is such a great point, Driz. The logistics of this are so hard to navigate. This is a team effort to even get to that spot. And like I keep saying the 59-58 thing, right? Because the number is so surprising. It's like, whoa, they really
Mhm,
did hit like there's only 60
mhm,
minutes.
yep.
And I mean, that hand hit, that 3 count hit at just the right time
Mhm.
to wrestle for nearly an hour and pull that off. That's why I wanted to put the spotlight on it. But then Shoddy, we got to get your opinion very
Yeah,
similarly. I know you talked about it on Thursday, but
yeah,
your
no, for
thoughts
sure.
on this
And
match.
so I had no idea, and right. I know there was a debate with your statement on it, right? And when we reviewed it, I had no issues with the comparison per se myself. I think comparisons are just the nature of the beast in regards to how we do stuff. I feel like we're going to compare stuff all the time, and I think it's a valid comparison in the sense it may not be better than it, or it may be better than it. I don't, it's give or take perspective comparisons on that, but I think it goes to what you said earlier with Max. And I think Max is such a great character in professional wrestling. You lose sight of how good of an in ring professional wrestler he is as well. And that's just, I think that's one thing as us as fans, we gotta just appreciate him for because he may not be the guy who's like a workhorse, right? He's not like Ospreay or a Danielson who gives you more often matches and you're just reminded by it that time. He wrestles less, but when he does wrestle, it is a spectacle and it is doing a phenomenal job. And we talked about our top 10 list, right? Osprey was in the top three for all of us, and the guy is just a transcending talent. He's a guy who's able to do stuff that a lot of other people are not able to do, and he can get a great match out of literally anybody. And it's scary to see how good he is and just how he's in that prime age. He's like what, early 30s, right? He's gonna be doing this for a good chunk of time God let his body be good and whatnot, and it's just gonna be great to see. So I come on, man. I know a lot of people love to do tribalism, but like we gotta appreciate what AEW does. They got a lot of superstars that are giving us a lot of great stuff to watch on a weekly basis, and for us as fans to get that on just a regular special Dynamite, but just an episode of Dynamite, we all win in this situation.
1,000%. I'm so with you. I mean, the one that gets me is you talked about Ospreay being a transcendent talent. This dude, 47 minutes into the match, if you go back and watch it, runs up a wall like he's in a kung fu movie
Yeah, I love when he
up
does that spot
Max's
too.
chest. But it's one thing to do that 7 minutes into a match. It's
Mhm.
another thing to do it after
Oof,
wrestling.
and then the hidden blade that he hit on like
40
the outside of oh my gosh,
Oh,
bro. He like
Oh,
it
through the ropes, yeah.
dude, I don't I swear like it's crazy how he does stuff, man. Like he's literally like hitting like random combos in the span of just like right after another move. Like his bag of just being able to do moves and stuff and the ability of how he does it is pretty crazy. And Ben was giving us a lot of flack on the daily earlier because we didn't have him as number one um on the overall
I had him at
list and
3.
stuff, but he I'll take it. I mean, he very well could be. He may be. I think he is the best. Him and Gunther are probably the two best like wrestlers in the world at the moment when you
They're
talk about just pure in ring stuff. And that's so dope because they're like different styles too.
to me, they're both just impossible to deny bell to bell.
Yeah,
No matter the character work they do, and they both do great character work, don't take that as I was saying, oh, they don't do great character work. What stands out is if you put them in a big match, they both deliver no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what. That's like, and I hate guarantees and absolutes and things like that. But those two, those are pretty sure bets as a gambler. 100%. But let's move on to our next spotlight of this afternoon, evening, morning, depending on where you're watching from or what time it is. Let's talk about the exact same person, Mia Yim and Michin. That's the same woman. She's awesome. She's been great. And Shad, I want you to put the spotlight on her for us because it's your choice for this week, baby.
it is my choice for this week, and I feel like wrestlers deserve their flowers. And this past week I watched her on SmackDown and I watched her on NXT, and I'm just like, the HBIAC really just really be doing her stuff, man. She really puts in a lot of work, and I think she's one of the more underrated, if not the most underrated talents in the women's division in WWE as a whole. And she's a person I think deserves like the opportunity to showcase it a little bit more on a winning side of it. And I was so happy to see, y'all know I'm the Tiffany Stratton truther, that's my whole moniker. But I was so glad to see Mia get a win on SmackDown versus Miss Money in the Bank Tiffany Stratton because we see her doing the selfless stuff weekly, right? We see her being able to make her competitors look good, uh, kind of hold the fort down, be a ring general in the matches, and helping people look great in defeat. But her getting that win was great. And then we talk about it weekly. I think her and Jada Parker have had one of the more entertaining feuds in the women's division on NXT. And a lot of that is on Jada Parker as charismatic and great of a character as she is. But you need a veteran who can kind of will you through the situations. And I think Mia Yim is the perfect person that has been able to work with Jada, where one, it's felt like a real solid feud to look to, but she's also helping Jada Parker develop as a young superstar in the process. And that's just those are the type of wrestlers that don't get the flowers because everyone always looks at, oh, who's the person that's winning all the time. But the fact that she's able to do that I mean, you don't get growth in your division unless you have people like that. You know, the term jobber and stuff like that. I hate it because everybody has a job at the end of the day. Not everybody can be the star basketball player. Not everyone could be Kobe, LeBron James. You need like a Derek Fisher, you were saying, right? You need um like a Glauskis, whatever it may be, like people and the role players.
Zadrunas, Big
Yeah,
Z.
you need
Good.
these role players that fill in the gaps and help operate the team and the machine to make it win. And she's a person that does that. And I also do like the thing is this. I think Mia has potential to like be a person that can get to the world championship caliber. Like she's really good at wrestling and she looks great. Like I think she's an incredible superstar off of just aesthetics and and she has personality too. So, she's one of these people that I hope at some point she gets an opportunity to, if not even win gold, at least be a viable competitor for someone in the process of winning gold. Kind of like how, Nia Jax is finally getting her opportunity now, right? I would like to see Mia get an opportunity, or like a Chelsea Green too. Like I think she can definitely do a lot what those women do. So, I'm seeing more optimism, but I want to put the spotlight so, Mr. Paul Levesque is being able to see a little bit more clearly. And, you get a little older and age trips, you might not be able to see it. So we're gonna put that little spotlight on her so you can see what we're talking about.
Honest to goodness, Shotty, I'm super stoked that you picked Mia Yim and Michin in general, like because she deserves it. The veteran influence. Obviously, we've seen multiple stars go down to NXT and do special things. She's carried matches with up and comers in a way that she's not going to get credit for in the long run, but
Yeah,
deserves to because she has made a positive imprint on these stars of the future, stars you mentioned, Jada Parker, Kalani Jordan, stars on NXT. She's made a positive.
Tiffany Stratton.
Tiffany Stratton, being in the ring with them and helping them along and working as well as she does. She's so charismatic in her own right and so darn talented.
Yeah,
Deserved spotlight, no question. Driz, you got to agree on that one, right? For that spotlight.
Absolutely, absolutely. I've been singing the praises of Mia Yim since she was Jade in TNA. Shad's absolutely spot on about every single thing she says. Long overdue for any type of title reign whatsoever. She is the glue in one of those locker room leaders that you need to keep a healthy locker room, and I think she is amazing at it.
Absolutely. And that's the leadership.
Mhm,
That's the key there is willing to step up, also willing to play the role she needs to. Doesn't have to go over, doesn't have to be the most dominant in the match, doesn't have to finger quotes get her stuff in.
mhm,
She does, but that's not the nature of the beast here with Mi Chin. She is a pro wrestler's pro wrestler, and there's no doubt about it, and deserves. Bobby Petito added even Mia Yim deserves her flowers. It's like,
mhm,
yes, 1,000%. It's one of those that we will look upon much morely, we will look upon much more fondly in hindsight than
and
we did while she was here.
don't do that. Don't
Yes,
wait until they're gone to give them their flowers. These people are here now. It is I don't and it drives me nuts. If you see them in doing great things, give them that love. These people put their bodies on the line on a daily basis just to entertain us. So give them the love.
absolutely. I am 100% in agreement with that. Please do. Not even just performers, your friends. Give them their
Yes.
flowers, give them love while they're there. Right? That is a message for life. 100%. But let's do move on to our next spotlight topic. Let's talk Faye Jackson. We're talking about the former PMW Women's Champion, BCW Women's Champion, QOC Tag Team Champion, an absolute legend. Drizzy, your spotlight of the week, Faye Jackson.
Now, compared to what Clark and Shad did through with theirs, mine is a little bit more of a dated one because I've been trying to find the words to praise Faye Jackson for so long now. And I've just got to the point where it's like I can't. I'm just gonna have to spill my guts because I absolutely adore this woman. I adore her work. her work ethic, and her impact on the indies in black wrestling. She is one of the more and I you know what? Come after me. She's the most entertaining woman in wrestling. I know we have all types of women from Chelsea Greens and everything. I promise you, at some point in time in their lives, they have had some type of contact with Faye Jackson, and she installed some bit of knowledge. They've traded some type of something, and that that energy, that cares, that I can't even get that je ne sais quoi, that
Yes.
thing. It
It
comes
factor.
from that it factor from Faye Jackson. It's contagious. You can't not just beam with some type of smile and be like, wow, it just works with her. She's fun. And at that and when she's not trying to be fun, she can definitely turn it up in the ring. You heard Clark list all of her accomplishments, a champion through and through, but she most of the time is having fun and entertaining people. She's putting smiles on faces, and honestly, in my eyes, she in my dream federation, she's your top baby face because she evokes those emotions to the fans. She is everything you want in a somebody that you're building a company around. A few weeks ago, I said Lockhart is your not Lockhart. Ooh, sorry, wrong guy. Darius Carter is your heel that you're building around. Faye Jackson's your face, and it's not even close. She does so much, and she's such a vital part of all these locker rooms. I've never heard anyone say anything negative about her. She had the big head or anything. And she has always stood up for women in the wrestling industry, and at that, she's not afraid to do the crazy things. Last year, she went viral because her and Darius Carter had a match, and Darius Carter drilled her on her head with a power driver. She didn't sit there and take it as, oh, this is horrible. No, she's like, no, I'll be back for you. And she is going to come back and hit harder than ever. It's just what she does. Faye Jackson is a legend. And I will spend my breaths screaming that off the top of the highest mountains. Yeah.
Driz, I am so in agreement, and I love the way you broke that down. There's the old cliche, like so and so walked so somebody could run.
Mhm,
Faye Jackson has ran. So other stars can sprint
mhm,
and deserves. We've discussed flowers earlier, and we're now cliche on cliche on cliche, but Faye Jackson deserves a lot of credit because of her entertainment value, her willingness to perform, her willingness to give to the industry. If you are an up and coming professional wrestler on the women's side and you don't look up to Faye Jackson, I'm in agreement with you. You're missing something.
mhm,
Right? That's somebody that should be your hero. She ran, so Willow Nightingale, our friend of the show, Jocelyn Navarro, multiple talents, could sprint,
mhm.
could sprint.
Like, and
And
there's it's a endless who's who of people who are just like she Mama Faye this, Mama Faye that. Like it's just nothing but pure love. If sh- if she makes it on TV, I will cry tears because there is no I don't understand how she's gone this long and she's not on somebody's TV screen because the camera is made for her. Even on MLW, I am glued. She's there as a valet for Mr. Thomas and the Boom Alex Kane and the Boombaye Fight Club in MLW,
yep,
and you can't take your eyes off her. Alex Kane, like that whole package as a whole, you can't take your eyes off of them, and a lot of it is
Hmm.
her because the things that she does outside the ring, she gets it. I
she
bought a whole pay per view just for one match that she put on. Ben, I don't think Ben's gonna know what this is anyway. The Faye Jackson Gray Sweatpants Battle Royal. It
yes,
a couple of years ago, it got my match of the year because
yes.
it was a rumble and the way that she booked it was absolutely perfect.
I
That's crazy.
Driz, I love it. And by the way, I'm fascinated as a fan of gray sweatpants myself. I've not seen the match. That
It is it is literally everything. It gives you everything. There's suspense, there's drama, there's comedy, there's rivals. There it gives you everything you could ask for. She did not
sweatpants.
twist it. It
Yes.
even it even goes into the other realm. And you know when you go to the video stores with the beads, it even gives you some of that a little bit. But
Oh,
it
yeah, it's
it's
crazy.
a
Yes.
perfect way to give you everything.
My man Bobby said, "What?"
Bobby, yeah, Bobby. Shout out Bobby in the comments.
"Oh my god."
Bobby's immediately googling.
Hey
Bless you,
yo,
Bobby. You're the
nah,
man.
don't
If
you don't
you
gotta
need
do
to,
that,
if
Bobby.
you
I was
need to
just
go,
going
He's
to.
like, wait a minute,
if you need to
where's the
see,
battle
if you
royal?
need to know, if you need to know where it's at, it's on. It's from a GCW show, Alley Cats for a Hot Girl Shit show from, want to say about 4 years ago, maybe. It's the
That's
very last match. It was in Orlando. Whenever Mania was in Orlando, it was one of those WrestleMania weekend matches.
it, you said 4 years ago. That's kind of where I got familiar with Faye Jackson too. Was like it her internet presence, her social media presence, like on X, Twitter, and stuff like that, YouTube videos, like all the reels, and I guess now is really good. She's super entertaining. She's like just it's definitely like I can see now with how wrestling is, where WWE is more not want to say like attitude era, but more edgy again than AW. I do feel like she could she should get on a big promotion at some point. I think she would work because she's got the charisma. She's got the confidence and stuff that could really work on like I would love to see her on NXT. Like I think
Oh,
she could
Absolutely.
with
I
the
want I
NXT,
want her on
TNA,
TV.
AEW,
I
with
want
right?
to
the
see her on TV, and I want to apologize to her directly because I felt like I could have more elegantly put this, but I literally have been stewing for years on how I can sit there and put into words how much she means to me in wrestling. She's on my Mount Rushmore of wrestlers, and that is not because she's having 5-star classics. It's just because she understands how to connect with people. She
yeah.
understands I think she's ahead of everybody when it comes to like the viral moments and things like this. She
Hmm.
understands it. She's got it.
Totally.
She, to put it all simple, she's all that and a bag of chips.
Yes. Couple bags of chips, maybe. You never know. Everyone thinks you only need one bag of chips with a sandwich. I've always been a two chips,
Yeah, man.
one
Nah,
And
sandwich
it
guy.
you gotta
I say
have
and
you
it
gotta have
ain't
two. You gotta have
and
two.
it
You gotta
ain't
have two.
easy.
Yes.
And it ain't the thing is this too, right? Like it's not easy to just stay buzzing as an independent wrestler for a while. And she's been like, she's a self-made woman when it comes to her brand. Like everything is indicative on what she's done for herself, and like a lot of our favorites know who she is, man. Like during the whole like then she had
Mhm.
like the trial.
Uh,
The trial of Faye
yeah,
Jackson.
the trial of
Yeah,
Faye Jackson.
I remember
She
like
took
Big
over
E
Twitter.
Woods and
She
all was
took
like,
over Twitter. She took over Twitter for
Yes.
that. It is
Yeah.
one of the most viral things that has happened in Twitter and in black wrestling. It is
hmm
it.
yo, because that was about 4 years ago. I think like around 2021, right, or 2022,
Maybe a
Yes.
little I
maybe.
think yeah, around that time.
Yeah.
We got a comment over on Instagram from Jake Paccio 1269. And he said, "Is Bobby actually getting released?" No, Bobby Petito is like our guy. He's our best pal.
Big
He's
Match
good.
Bob.
Unless you meant Lashley, I don't know anything about that. That's all I would say to that.
We do our laundry here. The sheets are clean,
Yeah,
so
yeah. The
Yeah,
sheets are
yeah, we
clean,
don't do
guys.
that.
We can't do that. No, but Petito, he's in good standing. He's the man.
yeah.
He's our guy. Um, let's do our highlights of the week, though.
Mhm.
Let's get into them. Driz, I've already got you on the big screen. Are you ready to get back into it, or do you need a break?
Nah, we get into it.
Let's do it, Driz. What do you got for your
My
highlight of the
highlight
week?
of the week. Y'all know I am a TNA shield. I will die on the mountain of TNA when it finally goes down. Last night, a sold out arena, the biggest a biggest crowd they've had in 10 years. That is my highlight of this week. TNA is not dead. You can't kill it. They are the little engine that could at all times. There's nothing stopping them. They might slow down a little bit, but they're always moving. They're always going forward. And last night just showed there's nothing you can do to slow that animal down. I am so proud of all those boys and girls down there. They are doing amazing work. The partnership with NXT seems to be even be better than what it was with AEW. Hopefully that they AEW can rectify that. New Japan, CMLL, all of them have worked with TNA at some point in sort of point in time. This is the way to do it, and TNA keep going back up, get back up to prominence.
It, it's a great call, Drizzy. And I mean, honestly, the show was exciting. I watched it last night, and it's a great call. It's just good for pro wrestling.
Hmm.
It gives us more to talk about of the week when it comes to TNA. What's your what's if you had to pick one in a highlight
One
inside of
match,
a highlight,
the
just
highlight,
while we're on it?
Speedball and Ali. Speedball and Ali. Oh my God. I believe I seen we put out our star rating 5 stars. Absolutely perfect, spot on. There's just something about those two. They got in the ring and they said, "Hey, you want to have fun? Yeah." And they went proceed to have fun, and it was
Yeah.
magic in that ring.
It was. How good
Speed.
was Earl Hebner? I'm sorry though, in Montreal.
Even
That was
bringing
dope to see.
Like what?
whoa, that right there, like, oh my God.
Brought back to my childhood, bruh.
You're like,
They
oh my
really did
God.
it.
And they let him across the border?
I was gonna lose my mind if all of a sudden they try to do it. And I know Dave, it's not a choice when it comes to that, but if they try to do something twin related, somehow it wasn't possible in that moment. But for a
Bruh.
second, I was like, wait,
That I gotta admit, we just did our top tens. Speedball was really hard for me to leave off on my top ten this year because that guy's he don't have
A
bad matches.
walking. If
okay,
Kenny Omega is the best bout machine, if he ever releases that moniker, it has to go to Speedball. It has to.
craziest thing that I can think of about Speedball though is I think he's the best barefoot wrestler I've seen since Umaga.
Hmm.
And he doesn't
See,
he doesn't
you're not
actually fit
wrong.
the category. So
You're not wrong at all.
right? It's like, wait, what? What like he does this with no shoes on in a way that is
And
dangerous,
mhm,
but
and
he's safe
no
still.
problems, no problem whatsoever. It's like,
Yeah.
It's fascinating to me. Shoddy, what's your highlight of the week? Let me know.
My highlight of the week is gonna be on the same pay-per-view that Drizzy was talking about, and it's gonna be a moment, another match. It's gonna be Nick Nemeth, man. Him getting gold in TNA. I just think I've always been a Dolph fan from WWE times. I feel like him kind of reigniting a flame of his career post WWE has been super fascinating to see. He's like a pseudo belt collector this year. Like I said it earlier on the show, he won the Triple A belt. He won a belt in New Japan. Now he's got a belt in TNA. They I think companies see the star that he is, the veteran leadership, but him still being as good as he is as an in-ring worker. And with TNA, I think he's a good champion to go win with the belt now. After Moose, I think Dolph can really help build a lot of young guys on there and have feuds. And I just really want to see Dolph versus Joe Hendry at some point when we get to it in regards to for that belt because I think they can do a lot of fun stuff in regards to a rivalry. Whether he goes heel on Joe Hendry and then Hendry getting a belt off of a former WWE guy, that'd be cool. But just Dolph being able to do what he's doing, it was cool to see him get that belt yesterday. So that's my highlight of the week.
I love it. It's a
Nick
great
Nemeth. I'm sorry. I
highlight.
might keep calling him Dolph.
Nick
Nick
Nemeth,
Nick
Nemeth.
Nemeth,
Apologies. Yes, Nick Nemeth.
the artist formerly known as
Known as
Ziggler.
yeah.
Heck of
Mr.
a guy.
Ziggler.
Nick
Honestly,
Nemeth.
I think it's a great pick. and deservedly so, overcomes a 6-person elimination match. I mean, this is what you and your friends book on a video game, not necessarily the end of pay-per-view. That's neither here nor there. We'll discuss that later.
It's the moment more than the match for me.
The
I ain't gonna lie
moment,
to you.
yeah,
The
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 moment
moment
more
moment.
than the
is
match.
it is one of those where the moment outstands the match a little bit
Yes.
more, but
Yeah. And like I said, it's more prominent on him getting the belt, right?
Right.
Because I do think that I don't like using the word a company fumbles anybody, right? Because there's outliers and situations that may happen, and I think he had a phenomenal career. I mean, he's people can dream to have a career like he has in pro wrestling, especially in WWE. But like, yeah, like I said, it's awesome to see somebody just not be mad at the moment, but just be like, all right, bet I'm gonna show you what's up. And he made my top 10 for a reason. Like, I really think he's been putting in a lot of work this year when it comes to pro wrestling, and that's betting on yourself. And that's even past just wrestling, like him being on Busted Open as an analyst too. Like, he's hustling right now and he's having fun. And I love to see people having fun what they do because that's what it's all about.
I love it myself as well. I mean, it's a great highlight, Shoddy. Like it just is. It's been a fun week in general. It's been a fun week all around. I want to make my highlight of the week though. I'm gonna be annoying. I hate to do this, but I am gonna be annoying and say that legitimately my highlight of the week is same as my spotlight. How can you get away from that match? That happened this week. It happened this week. Rules are meant to be broken. They broke the proper amount over the course of an hour. And it's the highlight and what I wanted to spotlight. Because what I mostly want to highlight on this one, as opposed to spotlight, is the fact that MJF gets criticized bell to bell. And we have this history now of him going bell to bell in classics. And you name him on the other side every time like he's the B side. And if that's your thought process, you're wrong. He's the A side. You're rooting for the other person to do well. And that's what makes him so great. Every time you're like, oh, that dog color match, it's Punk and MJF, right? He went 60 minutes. It's Danielson and MJF. It's Ospreay and MJF. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's both. And Max deserves, he's so dang good at his character. He convinced us he's not actually good at pro wrestling. Genuinely. That's my personal belief. He is so good at being a heel and being an a-hole. He's so good at bothering people and getting under their skin and doing all of that, or doing the character work side of it, the it factor side of it, that we forget that this guy continues to put on classics. And he is that good. You can't take it away from Max. So my spotlight is on the match itself. My highlight is Max telling everyone to shut up. Twofold. Twice. He did it not just by putting on a 60-minute classic, but by getting the win too. So it's even more make your skin crawl, bug you to death. It's exactly what you'd ask out of a top heel. Nobody wants that dude to carry the belt after that match. Nobody does. Not at least if you have a moral conscience, you don't. But to me, it's not just match of the week. This is early match of the year because yes, it's the 250th Dynamite, but this is not a pay-per-view show. This is not a place to necessarily do that. And they head faked us 15 times. They gave us the Billy Goat. They gave us the guy that we thought would steal the show. And while he did, in my eyes, the other guy did in equal value. And Max deserves his flowers for that. We've given a lot of flowers away. we may not be florists on Sunday Night Spotlight, but that may be our next version of the show.
Nah, I
Yes.
will say this. I gotta just say, there's been a lot of good TV matches this week too. Like you talk
Yes.
about that one that set the bar. We spoke about it on Tuesday night. Obafemi, Duke Hudson, great match,
Ooh,
and Sammy.
Ilya and Sammy. Yes.
Yeah, that match was crazy.
Off
Carmelo
the
Hayes
charts.
and Andrade. That was one that was like I was on the fence between what my highlight of the week was because they put on it and they really like they let Andrade and Carmelo Hayes finally like show the SmackDown side. Like, yeah, these two should definitely be pushed a little bit more
Hmm.
than they are because both guys they're talented wrestlers, like incredible wrestlers, but like I think both of them are like just money like characters too, or like just they're Carmelo Hayes is him. That's his whole moniker, right? Andrade, that dude look like a straight like mob boss, like with
That's like
the fresh suits and all of that.
that's like the only one that scared me about it though was like I'm like, man, can we keep giving Melo these losses? Because Andrade looked so
Yeah,
dang good, but I'm like, man, bring up that speed title, have this match. That's cool, right? But like, it did seem weirdly separated from that, and
Hmm.
I'm just unsure about that scenario in
Me-
general.
to me, Melo is gotta be the next U.S. champion after LA Knight wins it. In my opinion,
Hmm.
I
I
think
think that's
he
yeah,
has to get it.
absolutely.
And
I just
Andrade, I'm like, go ahead. What you say?
I would say I think it only seems like that if they're eating it like him, and I'll say Andrade too took like a whole bunch of losses because currently the U.S. title, the secondary title, is eaten up by Logan Paul at the moment. So,
Yeah,
but
and
that's
he
a
don't wrestle.
conversation for another show.
Yeah, that fool don't even wrestle. So
Mm,
once LA Knight get the belt right and get his moment, I think he'll be a more of a focal point in regards to how you set feuds up. I don't know what Andrade's character is. I don't know if you keep him a babyface or you turn him heel. I personally like him better as a heel, but like then again, you don't have the talking piece in Zelina Vega with him too. So I don't know if it's like that. I kind of wouldn't mind, it might be a little bit of a a curveball and it might be different to people, but like, I know Charlotte not wrestling, but like Charlotte, his wife being the manager for him, that would be kind of cool, and it puts Charlotte Flair back on TV, and it puts her like in a little bit of a different different role that we've
So
never really seen her
it's
do.
a breath of fresh air, and I know that's something that I think that like all the women in wrestling like they always want to be doing something new. So like when Alexa Bliss went away and came back as the dark Alexa Bliss, you could just see that it lit like a fire on her. Like, oh, I get to do something different than being what I
Hmm.
normally am, and I really feel like Charlotte would be the exact same way.
Yeah,
Ooh, that's a great call. We've got over on Instagram, Tink2254, friend of the show, with hey guys, good to see ya and good ideas. Thank you always, man, for tuning in. We really appreciate that. I mean, yeah, there's so many good things going on in wrestling right now to highlight and spotlight, but I actually do think that's going to bring us to the end of the show, my
yeah,
friends. We did it. On time for once in our lives, at least mine. Don't blame Shot and Driz on that. Much more on time than
yeah,
myself. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already smashed that thumbs up button, subscribed, liked, done the whole nine, it means the world to us and we really appreciate it. So please do tune into the rest of our stuff. We've got the daily broadcast every day, same single time, noon Pacific. That's 3 in the East. That's 8 in the UK. Of course, 9 in Hawaii, 4 in Manila. That's AM on the Manila, Hawaii side. That's just geography. But that does bring us to the end of our show. Have a happy Sunday. And thank you so much on behalf of all of us here at Wrestling Republic. Have a great day.